Yes, you're listening to your favorite dial on Radio Global. And it is time for another beautiful package of the program Footprints. Well, today on the program, I have a lovely guest. She's right here with me, looking all lovely, all beautiful and all of that. Yes, her name is Ita, and she has a social enterprise, which she'll be talking to you about today. So we don't want you to miss it. We don't want you to go anywhere. So stick around. We'll be right back. Yes, we're back and we're better. This is Radio Global and you're listening to the program Footprints. Yes, we're right here. And if you're just joining us, yes, it's Footprints. And if you've been with us all the way, I'm right here. My name is Toji Richards and I'm your regular host on this program. Today I have a beautiful guest and her name is Ita Hosaife. Ita, how do you do?
Hello, I'm fine.
Yeah, I can see you're fine. The way you sound. Really, I would like to find out some things about you because you own a social enterprise, which is for teenagers, isn't it?
A little bit more than teenagers,
okay,
but mostly
children?
correct. Yes, exactly.
Okay, for children.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would like to know a little bit about you. Yes.
Okay, well, my name is Ita. My last name is Hozaife, Hozaife. I started Inkmarks in 2006?
Okay.
But when we first started, it was not for young people. It was about creating content. You see, I'm a writer. I write for a living. Well, I used to. It's more of a part-time for me now. When I first started in the industry, I was working as a copywriter in an advertising agency. Big ups to TBWA. That's where I was before. And I soon found myself, what's the word now? Dissatisfied.
Okay.
It felt too much like a job. And I was looking for something a little bit more than just a job.
Okay.
So, I met a gentleman, Bumi Davis. It was all quite by accident. I went to watch a play, and he was at this. It was his production,
Well,
and I met
you just
him.
mentioned Bumi Davis. I remember what's that program which people used to laugh so much? Used to make people laugh.
He's got quite a few programs. So I'm not sure which one. Yes, he's very into making people laugh, entertaining people,
yes.
and his career is just wonderful. But I have to give it to him. He got me started. I met him after the play, which was at the Muson then, and we got to talking, and somehow it came out that I wrote plays, and he was quite interested in what I had to offer. And we met weeks later, and this was at a time when I was looking for something different. I was not satisfied with the Monday to Friday office job, even though a lot of what I did there was actually quite exciting. The people were lovely, but it just wasn't something I saw myself doing for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I wanted something more, and Bumi Davis was sort of my launch into that something more. We met. He went through some of my plays and decided that there was one that he wanted to do at the Muson, Dr. Gravedigger. And I remember calling my mom, telling her about it, and sitting in the audience at the Muson with the then late, is it Mr. Tayo Adeniroku of GT Bank, sitting there, and just like everybody else, watching something that I had written, but I even I couldn't believe that, I had written it, how it had turned out exactly. And when I was called up to take a bow at the end of the play, I realized that, okay, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
At least back then I thought, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. And 2 months later, I resigned.
Wow.
I resigned 2 months later. People were quite shocked. And at the same time, my immediate boss wasn't so shocked, because he was like, he could tell that I was, I was, what's the word? When it's not, the word is not anxious, but I just wasn't as happy as I was when I first came in, or when he first came in to work with us. So I left with the promise that if they ever needed my support, I was there for them.
You will help them.
And then my best friend, by the way, she also quit her job, and we started Inc. Well, it was then called Havila Entertainment. We were limited liability, and the whole idea then was to create content, not just stage, but also television content for adults. The plays didn't go very well in terms of finance. Financially, we were probably struggling. Not even struggling. We were drowning. Financially, we were drowning. But the interesting thing is, we were getting known. People knew us, and people were amazed that we were girls, women. That was something that I think was a positive, because when you came for our plays, you didn't forget who we were, just for the fact that we were women.
Yes.
Yeah, in a male-dominated
world.
In a male-dominated career. So, my partner eventually left for personal reasons,
okay.
And I continued. In that time of me doing this alone, things, again, I hit that point where I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I saw myself moving away from stage. Got the opportunity with Mnet to write, to be one of the writers for Doctor's Quarters.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I was, that was my transition from stage to the tube, and then eventually the big screen. Okay. And all this time, I'm behind the scenes, writing and so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly, just writing, coming up with stuff. And the money was coming in. My name was out there. Female writer, fantastic, not many of us. And I started to burn out. I wasn't happy again, and I started burning out. And the question now was a very nagging question, which, over the years kept popping up. What are you doing? What are you meant to be doing? Why aren't you satisfied with this? Because the last time I checked my account, it was looking pretty good.
But now it's
writing was fantastic. No, writing was fantastic. When I moved away from stage and started writing for the tube and writing for the big screen, the money was coming in, and I was still doing advertising on the side, copywriting on the side. So the money was coming in, and every time I looked at my account, in fact, that was what was driving me.
Okay.
The excitement of being able to look at your account and say, well done, girl. You're doing marvelous. And feeling that sense of, I've arrived, or I'm about to arrive. That was that was my main focus. And then I said, then I burnt out badly. Oh. I just hit a complete low.
So now what made you bounce back again?
What bounced me back? So hitting that low meant having to face the question and answer the question. And the answers didn't come immediately, and that was a very, very, I think probably the lowest point. of my existence, because it was hard for me to admit that I didn't know what I was doing, and all the time that I've been doing whatever it was that I was doing wasn't really worth it and wasn't what I wanted to do. And so that meant going back to the drawing board. So what am I supposed to do? What am I meant to do? And in that process, a friend of my mom's, he's late now, Mr. Atari, bless his heart, he gave me a book called The Purpose-Driven Life.
Okay, yes, Rick Warren.
Yes, and he gave me this book, and when he gave it to me 2 years before this incident. When he gave me the book, I smiled and I thanked him, and then I threw the book away. Yeah, I'm not going to read any book. But, of course, he didn't know that. But when I hit this low and I was searching, for some odd reason, I was going through...
You have to go back to it?
Well, no, not even go back to it, because I never even went to it in the first place. I'd kept it, but I just threw it aside. But just looking through, I don't know, I was looking through books or looking through something, and I saw this book, and I was like, oh, what is this about anyway? So I opened it, and I just couldn't put it down. And I just kept going until I finished the book. And obviously you don't finish it in one day, because it's specific about not finishing in one day. And every chapter I read was another question that I needed to answer. And it took months, if not close to a year. And it was a painful process for me, very painful process for me, humbling even, because you're redirecting. But in that process, one thing I found out was, well, Ita, because it was like, what do you like to do? Your purpose is attached to whatever it is your gift is, and all along I've always, as far back as I could remember, well, talking is not much of a talent according to people. In fact, it's a bad thing. Talking too much is a bad thing, right?
Oh no, that's not a bad thing. Well, I am doing it. And it's paying me.
Exactly. You see, but I didn't. All along, I always got the impression that people that talk too much is a negative thing. It's not a good thing. So when I realized that my gift was talking, it was now a case of, well, what do you want to say, and who do you want to say it to? See, questions beget questions. Yes. An answer unlocks a question unlocks an answer, and it just keeps going. And that was my journey till I got to the point that, okay, so now you realize you can talk, or you want to talk. Who do you want to talk to, and what do you want to say?
Okay, so that was what brought you into...
That's what got me into Ink Marks from Havila Entertainment. We opened Ink Marks, and I still thought that Ink Marks was for adults, older people. But it wasn't. And what happened was the British Council invited me to... Oh, by the way, I do a little bit of teaching on the side. I get called by... a university to teach creative writing, also screen.
Here in Nigeria?
Yeah, here in Nigeria, screenwriting. So I'd been doing that for a while, and then the British Council, I'd done a project with the British Council. They invited me, and I learned quite a bit from that workshop. And then they invited me. It was almost like a pay it forward kind of thing, to come and work with some children in Port Harcourt, teach them some sort of creative writing. I went. Well, it wasn't an immediate, because I was like, no, I've never worked with kids, I'm not interested, so on and so forth. But anyway, I went, and I found it very fulfilling, loads of fun. I think I had more fun than the kids did. And it came very natural to me also. You would think, and that was in 2010, you would think that that's when the whole idea for this thing... 2008, not 10 even. So it would take another 2 years. Yeah, I'm a bit stubborn like that. Go ahead.
Because really, I wanted to find out if your journey to Port Harcourt was what really inspired you to go into what you're doing right now.
Nope. It was, you would have thought that would have been it, because there it was staring me in the face. But sometimes you're just very hard of hearing or seeing. And I came back and I continued, and then I don't remember exactly what it was that got me searching for... Well, I think I was looking for something, and then I saw on Google 98% of Nigerian children, since when? To 2009 had been failing WIAC, JAM, NECO, all of it. As 98%, that's not possible. So I Googled it a little bit more. And sure enough, it was very true that we had a 98% failure rate. And I was like, that can't be. What does that mean in 10, 20 years to a nation? It means total collapse when people cannot take over from the next group and from the next group and so on and so forth. So I think that worried me some. And then again, it got me thinking. It got my attention and it got me thinking. And that was the beginning of taking ink marks. Still as it is, because we registered as a limited liability, but our focus totally and completely changed. We became a social enterprise. And our focus now became young people, as young as 6 and as old as 18. Although we do open our arms to 21, ages 21, but we don't have projects directed to them just yet. So that's how we started. The whole idea was to engage them and to change their mindset, or at least begin to open their eyes to their surroundings. They're part of something. What are they doing? What's happening to them? What's that something doing to them? And what are they doing to that something? In other words, what is the community doing to them? And what are they doing to the community? And the way we do this, because it's always what I've known, the only thing I've ever known, is using creative arts and the media. So we engage them using fun and entertainment, but we always have an agenda, and that agenda is social development.
Okay, so you use that as a means to help them and also for social development? Social
development while they're learning new skills. For instance, one of my most successful projects, we started that in 2012. It's called Reel Kids, REEL Kids. And what we do with Reel Kids is very simple. We teach children ages 10 to 18 how to create their own films.
All right, that's nice.
In 15 days.
What, 15 days?
Children that have never in their lives thought about creating a film. We teach them how to do that, and in 15 days you have a short film, 5-10 minutes, but done by these children from the concept to the writing to the shoot, all the way to edit.
Right.
And we've been doing that since 2012.
Okay, wow, that sounds really nice. Well, I have Mrs. Yes, she's Mrs.
Oh yes.
Yes, Mrs. Ita Hosaifi. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, she's right here in the studio, and we've been talking about her social enterprise, which is known as Ink Marks. Yes, she's told us a lot about herself and about how Ink Marks started. Well, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Don't touch that now. Yeah, we're back and we're better. This is Footprints right here on Radio Global. And my guest in the studio has been Mrs. Ita Hosaife. And we've been talking about her social enterprise, and which is Ink Marks. So we'll also like to find out from you right now about the social enterprise itself. So what are some of your key functions in it?
Well, ours is to build. Now, this is the part that you want to really listen to.
Okay.
What we're hoping to do is raise 300 million African children to twist their current stories. And let me break that down. So this is our vision. 300 million children across Africa in 5 years to be part of what we call Generation Twist. Generation Twist. If you think about the word twist, in a story, a character starts a journey or is on a journey, and you feel you know where that character is going, where the story is heading. But then something happens called a twist, and it changes the entire direction
Of the story.
So we want African children to twist their current story. The current story today is most of us live on less than $1 today.
Yes, poverty is just the order of the day.
Generation Twist will be able to say we live on more than $1. And we can do that in 5 years. If you also think about the name Twist, Generation Twist, do you know about the character in Dickens' famous
Oliver Twist?
Oliver Twist? Now, Oliver Twist did something. He asked for what?
Ask for more.
He asked for more. Generation Twist is demanding, is asking. The Generation Twist wants more, is demanding more, so they can achieve more, to give back more. You can't expect our children to do the impossible when right now we cannot even give them what they require, basics of what they require: parenting, attention, education, nutrition, just basics. And then we expect them to give us the whole world. It's just not going to happen. So Generation Twist is asking for more, demanding for more, so they can give you back that more that you hope they can give, or you would like them to give. So ours is to raise 300 million African children under Generation Twist. And how do we do that? The different projects that Ink Marks has created, one of them being Real Kids, REEL Kids. We thought it was very strange for Nigeria, just starting with Nigeria, our population, I mean, the number of the population that's under 21 is ridiculous. And you would have expected that there would be more for these people, but there isn't, i.e. in the media. They're invisible, near invisible in the media. So if we're not going to create anything for them, might we give them the skills? That's what Ink Marks felt. Might we give them the skills to create for themselves? Okay. So it's about films for children, by children, children telling their own stories, being seen, being heard, and also learning a skill and having fun in the process. We also have I Have a Speech. It's our leadership program where we teach children how to write speeches and present their speech. One of the most famous speeches we know, I Have a Dream, the I Have a Dream speech. It was inspirational. It got people following. It got people to end segregation and so on and so forth. And so where are our leaders? What speech have we heard that causes us to rise and follow, to change, to want to do? We haven't had that. So we feel that it's important to start from an early age. And also we have Heroes of Us is another project we do where we use comic books. We teach the kids how to create their own comic books. But in the process of teaching them how to create their own comic books, we teach them about character, building character. superheroes have certain qualities.
Yeah.
So we teach them, if you like this character, you identify with this character, do you have any of those characteristics that this character has? And then we also talk about Nigerian heroes. We talk about Mama Ekundayo. We talk about Fela. We talk about Chinwe Achebe. These people are heroes. These people talked when nobody else would. These people dared. When no one cared, these people dared. So we talk about people like that. We love Mandela, we love Martin Luther King, but we don't talk about them. We talk about our own people because there are heroes and they need to be sung and they need to be showcased to coming generations. We have other projects that we do, but we use different art forms and media to engage, to attract our children. And once we've got their attention, then we begin to do what? We begin to talk to them about them being game changers, about them taking control of their lives, their destiny, and changing, not just for themselves, but for all of us. Because we're not an island. We don't live on islands.
Yeah, we need other people to survive.
Yes, we do.
Yes, all right. And you know that any thing that starts like this, maybe a social enterprise and any organization, there are usually challenges. So I quickly want you to tell us some of the challenges which you faced on the way.
Well, one of the challenges we're still facing, believe it or not, is the acceptance of what we do. Most people feel that children should not be having fun. They should be reading. They should be in the classroom for those that are already in the classroom. For those that are not in the classroom, that means they should be hustling. They should be trying to bring home money. So the child is being robbed of one very important ingredient, which is very, very, very important to us. Creativity. Creativity is another word for solution. If you're a very creative person, you're very quick to come up with solutions. And that's what Africa lacks. Nigeria lacks it. But what we keep doing is saying, no, read your books, read your books. Who says that these children aren't reading their books? They're not. The traditional method of teaching has to give way to a more inclusive, to a more entertaining and more engaging style of learning. So that's one of the things we're having problems or challenges with, both with parents as well as in school. Oh, why is this child learning film? That has nothing to do with education, but it's not true. I had to learn English and literature and understand the structure of how to tell a story. That could only come from a classroom. If you're having problems in English and literature class, might you think of watching a film and learning things from it? So that's one of the things that we're able to do. Another thing that we're able to do, or another challenge that we've faced, is obviously finance. But I think before the finance is probably the acceptance of what we do by parents and guardians and schools.
Okay, all right. So quickly, just tell us where you believe that your social enterprise is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, in the next 5 to 10 years, we're looking at having our own television station.
All right.
Well, let me not say television station, a channel solely dedicated to the needs of African children. We're also looking at having chapters of Generation Twist all over Africa. We're also looking at having academies that engage these children on a constant and continuous basis, year in, year out. So it's a lot of work in the next 5-10 years, and if you're listening, we need all the support we can get.
Well, we'll be talking to Mrs. Ita Hosaife, and she is the owner of Ink Marks, yes, a social enterprise that deals with children, trying to bring them up in the way they should go, and also trying to teach them a lot of things. So you see that it's not just about it's about school really, yes, trying to teach them, but giving them another way by which they can learn and also have fun. Well, she's right here in the studio with us today. So finally, I would like you to give our audience out there a means by which they can contact you, if it's a phone number, a Facebook address or something like that. So if people want to contact you, maybe maybe they want to give their support to what you do, people want to volunteer in order to help the children, how they can reach you.
Okay, so let me just use the Facebook. It's been our most successful way of people reaching us. Real Kids is one of our projects, so it's REEL The second word is KIDS, and the third word is Nigeria. So it's 3 separate words, Real Kids Nigeria. You can get in touch with us through that page, and you can also see what the children have been doing. Or if you want to check our other page, Ink Marks, 2 separate words, INK and then MARKS. That's also on our Facebook page. So you can check either one, and we'll get right back to you.
All right, that would be nice. Well, you've just heard from her, and she's told you a lot about Ink Marks and about Real Kids. So please just go out there, go to the Facebook page, go out there, like the page, start helping, volunteer in order to help, because you never know whose life you're touching when you help out with Ink Marks. Well, thank you very much for being with us right here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we hope when we call on you some other time, be able to come
immediately.
Oh, right, that's nice. Well, you can go to our Facebook page. It is Radio Global NG, and when you get there, you see a lot about Ink Marks, and if you need some other information about them, yes, we can also give that to you as well. So thank you very much for being with us right here on the program. It's lovely having all of you, our listeners out there, listening to us, and also our audience being with us at this time. So till we come your way, same time, same place, I'm your regular host, Toji Richards, and I'm saying bye for now.